What drives you, exile? Is it justice? Revenge? Honor? No. It is power. We felt your deeds. Felt their shockwaves ripple through the void. You have our attention.
What's up guys, Pidget here. This is one of the best Tonky build. You can face tank almost anything in the game and recover back very quickly while also dealing insane amount of damage. The base idea was make a character that can face tank majority of the game while dealing very good damage. Amazon is the perfect choice for this, with Lightning Spear for clear and Stormlance for signatory. Let's break down the defensive layers. Why we are that Tonky? We have 1.8k life and 3.6k energy shield. This is already making us so much more tankier than any other build in the game currently. But we're not stopping here. We have around 60% evade chance, and if we take a hit we will recover back 5% of our evasion ratings thanks to the Ghost Dance aura. This is coming handy when we getting stunned, so we can regain energy shield while we recovering. Using a curse aura in the build Enfeeble that lowers down the enemy damage notably on bosses 8%, which is a pretty damn good. On map that's 14% damage reduction, because the white monsters and the blue monsters is having less curse defense. The most important part is the recovery. It doesn't matter if we can take a hit or two, but what about the third and the fourth hits? This is where a very underrated known come in, Mystic Harvest from Amazon Ascendancy. Life Leech recovers based on your elemental damage as well as physical damage. This means you can leech elemental damage. You just need one single physical leech on your gear and you're good to go. But that's Life Leech, right? And we leeching energy shield. So the question, how are we doing that? Another very underrated thing, Essentia Sanguis. This converts all the leech to energy shield, so we can get back energy shield. It's very hard to tell how much we exactly leeching, but I would be not surprised if more than 1k energy shield per second or even more, because if you're paying attention on the footages, then it's clear we leech a very big proportion back of our energy shield. Also don't forget, these gloves gives ints and small amount of damage as well, and because no one cares about these gloves, you can get a pretty good corruption on it. In my case, lightning penetration, which is a massive damage increase. Where is the energy shield is coming from? We changed a lot of things in the gear and the tree as well. The biggest change is our body armor. Now we're using a pure energy shield body armor that gives us 2.6k energy shield alone. That's pretty huge amount of energy shield. Pure energy shield based helmet, this is also gives us almost 1k energy shield. How are we getting evasion chance to the build if we only using energy shield bases? Well, the boots we're using is a pure evasion boots that gives us 1.2k evasion rating alone. We all know it's Subterfuge mask. Every energy shield on the helmet provides +2 evasion rating. With better gear, you can have much higher percentage than me. How are we fitting in 6 aura to the build? In case you missed it, a few days ago I published a video about my tech, and since then more and more people started using it. So I will link the video in the description so you can watch it later and get a better picture what we're doing and why. I got help from my community as well, so shout out for them. Thank you very much guys, once again appreciating you. Finally we found a build that fulfill our fantasy in the game. Face tank almost anything while dealing very good damage. Now I'm very satisfied with the full build. Maybe I will push further and see how much damage and energy shield we can get, but that needs a lot of currency. There is lots of things is changed since last we met, and let's start with the items. And you're already noticing multiple changes in the build. Let's start with the most important one out of many. Tangletong weapon. This is a very strong low level unique item, and this is, I would say, almost unscalable even with a very good spear. So why is that? Because it's forks critical hits. What is 4 critical hits means? Hits with this weapon roll against their critical hit chance twice, determining if they are critical hit. So the first line is not really an upside, it's more like a downside. But if either roll succeed, the hit will be critical hit, and thus the critical damage will be apply as normal. So far we have a downside, and just as the critical hit is works. If both rolls succeed, the hit will be critical hit and the critical damage bonus will apply twice. So this is literally doubling your critical damage bonus. I have around 900% critical damage bonus, so I will get 1.8k critical damage bonus alone from this weapon if both roll is succeeding. This is why it's very important to reach 100% critical hit chance, because if the game is rolls twice, always will hit the crit, so you will getting insane amount of damage. And because of the spear has very low base damage, because this is a low level item, you need to stack flat damage everywhere in the gear where you can. And this is why I choose the odds lightning damage to the attacks. And also I'm using a critical damage bonus rune, because the critical damage bonus inside the weapon is a global multiplier, not just an increase. So alone this weapon is so much more powerful than anything that you can purchase, and I think the 2 divine price for this one was worth it. And now let's talk about the other tech, guys. So how we can leech energy shield, how this is build enabling unique. So Essentia Sanguis, I'm really liking this name. So it, as you can see, it gives you a little evasion, energy shield, intelligence, because this build needs intelligence because of the Sceptre and because of the helmet and the body armor, so this is helping. And also we get a lightning resistance, and we getting life leech is converted to energy shield leech. This is why we can just recover pretty huge amount of energy shield under a proportion of a second. So this is why we can mostly face tank most of the abilities the bosses have. And a little heads up here, before they patching out the stun charm, because right now when you getting stunned, you not getting stun immune, but it will getting changed soon. So the build we are getting a very huge amount of buff when this getting in place in the game, because right now sadly when you getting a stun, the charm is activating, but the next time will be hit you once again because the charm is running out. So it's making so much harder to face tank big hits, because you know you can take big hits, but because you stunned, you can't hit the target, so you can't leech back. And this we are getting a big buff if they finally making the charm activates immediately when you getting a stun, and also you getting immunity as well. Let's talk about now the body armor, guys, as well, because the body armor is very essential, I would say, because you need a very huge energy shield body armor. As you can see here, mine is giving 800 energy shield, and honestly there are far better body armors in the market, but honestly I try to keep, you know, the budget low. Okay, and also I did not have that much currency as well, so I was needed to settle down on this one. And the more energy shield you have, the better. Simple as that, guys. There is nothing else that I can tell you about this body armor, because this gives you, look at this, easily 2.6k energy shield. Absolutely insane. So the helmet is also important. Right now I'm using a life on it and energy shield hybrid right now, but if you're getting like a 400 or 500 energy shield helmet, that would worth so much more, because you know the percentage energy shield is scaling from your tree, so you're getting more energy shield to the build. So I seen somebody had like 5k energy shield and like 1.6k life still, so honestly I would say it's so much more better, right? And I will maybe try to push to that level. And also, you know, a little item rarity, because sadly item rarity is still in the game, and we still need, if you want to get something drop out of the rares and, you know, get exalted and so on. So sadly it's making the gearing process so much more expensive, especially if you need resistances on it as well. As you can see on mine, there is this helmet is a pretty good one, by the way. I think if I would need to purchase this one right now at the current market prices, it would like 4 or 5 divine alone. And honestly, guys, I not paid that much for this one. It was so much more cheaper before, you know, I published my other versions and I was using this. And the next one is also important, the boots, guys, because these boots is a pure evasion. As you can see here, it's not even giving anything besides just evasion. You scaling from the 3% evasion as well, and this is where your evasion is coming from mostly. These boots is alone gives you enough. Look at this, look at this, 20% evasion alone, because we're using a pure evasion boots, and obviously it's very hard to get much higher than this. I think 900 is possible, but that is cost a lot of money, especially if you want 30% movement speed and fire res, just as I need. Here it is, and only pure evasion boots is working, guys. I would say, because you want evasion in the build, because if you don't have evasion in the build, then it will feel pretty terrible, because you will getting hit pretty often and you will getting stunned, and you know, you dying because you can't leech back, because all of the tonkiness is coming from the recovery as well. So if you can't leech, you just dead in a matter of seconds, maybe, if you're unlucky. And the other thing is a new amulet as well, guys. So first, you don't need a spirit-based amulet, okay? So you can see here, I have exactly 12 spirit, okay? 12 spirit. So I did not audit anything. I'm not using the 12 spirit because I wanted to, you know, simulate maybe you can get this base. So the thing is matters, you need percentage energy shield, life, and crit damage bonus, and fulfill any other resistance or attributes from the amulet as well. I anointed Subterfuge Mask because Subterfuge Mask is taking place on the tree here, and this is grants you +2 evasion per maximum energy shield on helmet. So our helmet currently gives us 606 evasion exactly. So this is where our evasion is coming from, and this number is getting boosted by the notable that we anointed. And honestly, sadly, it's no better way to reach this one. This is the best way, because you will see the tree in a second why we can't reach this one. This is not worth that 7-point node, 7-point sacrifice from the passive tree. It's so much better if we just using as an anointment. Now the other stuff, so we using 2 new ring as well. So the flat damage, once again, guys, flat damage is very important, and you know, resistances as well, and maybe you need attributes as well, so making the gearing process even more harder. And also, once again, guys, very important to get life leech on your ring, because otherwise you will not leech anything, so your Ascendancy node will not do anything, your glass will not do anything. So you need one single leech somewhere in your gear. And physical attack damage needs to be, because the physical attack damage getting, you know, changed to the elemental leech, so you will able to leech elemental damage. And this is making the build viable and face tankable on many things. So this is very important. And also the belt is just giving us life and, you know, little attributes and resistance, just as always, because the belt is just, that's it. There is no energy shield belt in the game currently, so there is no better choice for me personally right now. And the last piece of the items is the Omen Sceptre. This needs spirit on it and mana regen, guys, because I will tell you why. So this is how we can fit in all of our spirit in the build and the 6 auras, and this is why we can have that much stuff up here as well. And if you not know this tech, basically just you can equip a Sceptre in your offhand and use as it, and it will give you a very huge spirit boost. And I would say you need at least 270 or 80 spirit for this build to able to fit in every single aura in the build. And now, guys, so I seen many people asking this one, how you can sustain mana on this. First thing first, you can see here I almost have 1k mana. So we are achieving this mana on almost every single item that it can roll mana. High mana roll on my ring, on my belt, and also I'm stacking intelligence as well a little bit, because we need 157 intelligence. You can see we barely have enough, and this gives you mana as well. So this is why we have almost 1k mana. And also I'm using a gem setup with that is grants us mana regen. So you can see here I can just attack here. Look at this. I can just hold down while I'm talking. See? And just not running out, steal mana with not running out, and you can just then press your mana flask, and this is how you can sustain mana. So this is very important. And also sadly this making the gearing process a little bit more harder, because if you have less maximum mana, your mana regen will have much less. Right now, currently, by the way, I have, if I putting down my Orb of Storm, have almost 90 mana per second. My Stormness is costing 101 mana and life a little bit, but we getting life regeneration, as you can see here. And if I pressing down, we have 72, so we can just easily counter the life cost on this one, because the speed is also making 10% of the skill cost convert to life. Now the passive tree, guys. So the passive tree is also changed very big time. So the first notable thing, we dropped this part of the tree and also the accuracy rating and attack speed notes here, and we dropped this part as well, the increased body armor evasion, because this body armor doesn't have evasion on it, right? So it would be a waste. And we now pathing up here as well to get more energy shield. This notable is just absolutely broken. This grants you like 400 energy shield, and also pretty decent as well, because while you pathing here, you getting intelligence to the build, and also you can take this one here, the critical chance sphere, and also the increased critical hit chance, because we need to reach 100% critical chance. And also you can see here, now we taking these notes here as well, and I taking this one as well, the Throat Seeker, to, yes, it's reducing our critical hit chance, I know, but it also gives a huge critical damage bonus. And with this combo, I know it's very counterintuitive, but you getting more critical hit chance and more critical damage bonus with this deck. And we pathing here, you know, so I was showcased this one earlier, I think, because you will the critical hits, right? So you have 100% crit. Extra damage, a little, you know, more intelligence, that's very welcome to the build. Evasion, energy shield, absolutely welcomed, and movement speed a little bit as well. And also, so one word about the moment of truth, guys. So increased critical damage bonus if you did a non-critical strike hit recently. Well, so maybe you're wondering how you will activate this, because if you have 100% crit, well, my Orb of Storm doesn't have 100% critical hit chance. 32% crit chance on the Orb of Storm. So when you just attacking with your Storm Lance, you see here the Orb of Storm also starting zapping as well, and you will hit at least one time under, like, you know, the duration, one time to not deal a critical strike. So you will getting 25% increased critical damage bonus. A few words about the Javels, guys. So we can use 1, 2, 3, 4 Javel. All of them is rare. So let's start with these ones. So only 2 mods is need on the Javel: maximum energy shield and critical hit chance. That's very important, because this is how you increasing your critical hit chance. One of these Javel is granting you around 3% critical hit chance. So we're using one of these here, one of these here, you can see here is the same. Using here critical hit chance and energy shield. Only the last Javel is different. This is grants us critical damage bonus. Okay, because I reached 100% crit with just the other 3. But if you don't reaching it, you still need to use the critical hit chance Javel. And yeah, so anything other mods on it, like increased elemental damage or anything, is just a bonus. So don't really think about too much, just purchase one of these and enjoy the ride. Ascendancy is changed also very big time. So now we're not using the penetration, because we're not using accuracy rating at all on the weapon. We using still the critical strike. This is absolutely broken. We're using the predatory instinct. This will grants you, you know, around we calculated 22% more damage overall, because, you know, not 100% uptime on the bosses. So this is like 22% more damage. And also we still using the elemental infusion to get infused weapon. You will see in a second what we changed on that links as well. And now we're using the Mystic Harvest. I don't think many people is using this currently, and even if we checking out other player profiles, maybe they not even using it correctly. So yeah, this is the main key to this build. As by the way, I said in the League Starter edition, right, I was thinking this can be a key to something broken, and here we are. This is how we can face tank most of the abilities in the game against Pinnacle bosses. And now a few words about the gems, guys. So let's start with the malice. So once again, the malice is coming from the Sceptre, the Omen base Sceptre. Very, very important, guys. This is one of the best base currently. But when you're getting better gear, you can swap out this one. But this is a another story. But so Malice is an aura that will grants you critical weakness, and the critical weakness grants you increase base critical hit chance against the target, and you can increase this duration on it, so you will getting 5 stacks. That's 2.5% increased critical base hit chance against the target, and we're using here for this one persistence, so grants, you know, more duration on that debuff because that is scaling with the duration. We're using precision here and also cannibalism, but it doesn't matter where you're putting this and this javelin. And now we arriving to infused weapon. One thing, so you can see here, it's a 6 link, so it has 5 support socket. So I'm level 93, guys, so this is you getting the 6 socket for it on level 90, so you need to reach level 90, I would say. So I'm using the infused weapon still as a utility setup, so we're using here lightning exposure. Lightning exposure is lowering down the enemy resistance by 20% by default, and we're using blinds here. You will see in a second why. And we're using conduction to have more chance to shock, because this will shock the enemy as well. And also we're using here life thief, you know, this is also his enemy. Also more life leech, you know, there is no better, I would say, support to put here, so why not we using an additional leech here. But one thing to mention, you still need, guys, once again, leech on your ring, because the ring leech is global, so any damage it's via leeching, but this is only applies to the infused weapon, and the infused weapon is not that big of a deal, so it's not dealing that much damage. This is just, you know, a little bonus. And using here stripper weight, so the exposure that we're applying have 20% increased effect, so the exposure is 24% instead of 20. That's additional very, very huge amount of damage. To get a better picture, we will talk about the signal target setup first. So Stormless, guys, once again, and we're using here blunt side. Support skill cannot inflict bind, but for exchange you will getting more critical damage bonus and more critical hit chance against blinded enemies. This is why we're using blind here. You can see here, this is a very strong combination, and this is how you can get even more damage. This is why we're reaching almost 2k percentage critical damage bonus. And close combat, this is a very important as well, 25% more attack damage enemies close to you, because we can just face tank anything. So most of the time I just putting down my orb of storm and just attacking like this, and just the encounter completing itself, because you will deal insane amount of damage. And the Rising Tempest, once again, guys, so the Rising Tempest is granting you 36% more damage, because this support gem getting boosted by your infused weapon, because the infused weapon, even if you using with the frenzy charge version, so the lightning infused, then it still applies all of the free element, so it counts as you using the free elements. So this is why 36%, and this tech is coming from Jangron once again. And the overextend, you know, more critical damage bonus, very good. The last one, I'm using perpetual charge here, because support skill have 35% chance to not remove charges, but still count as consuming them. Absolutely strong. This is very strong, especially if you high roll. You can just throw frenzy charge spears out of nowhere and deal massive amount of damage. And the clear skill, guys, here lightning spear, once again, volt, you know, the volt is stacking up when you're moving, as you can see here, and when you using it, you will getting extra damage and extra chains. This is how you have very good clear, and just can clear literally 2 screen away. And we're using primal armament here for more elemental damage, and we're using lightning penetration, because we have 100% critical hit chance on the lightning spear as well, so I'm using this one. And we're using here lightning infusion, you know, extra damage, that's always welcome in the build. And this is how this build is, I would say, one button build, because we're using custom crit. Once again, guys, we have enough spirit to all of this, so you need a scepter for it. we using custom critical, sniper's mark as you can see here, and we profusion. So when you critting a sniper's mark target, you will consume the sniper's mark and you will grant a 1 or 2 frenzy charge, which is a very big deal for this build. And we're using ingenuity here to increase cooldown recovery rate because the custom critical has cooldown, so you can't just always get the sniper's mark here. So you can see here it 1.5 cooldown time currently, but if I removing this, it will getting 2 seconds. See, so this is a very huge amount of increase on the signal target and the frenzy charge generation. Orb of Storms, we was talking about this, but so Orb of Storms, this is not dealing damage or anything, this is just helping us proc the notable on the tree. And also we putting here Font of Rage, Font of Mana, and Font of Blood. Rage, you were getting Rage as you can see here. The Rage is more damage. You can see here how my damage is ramping. So this is why when the boss is starting the roleplay, and so you just putting down and you just stacking up your rage to 30, and you will get, look at this, how big tooltip right now on the signal target. I'm just using on this one on signal target situations, not on you know, on clear or anything. So yeah. And the Font of Mana will grants you mana regen, and the Font of Blood grants you a little life regen. It's not a big deal, don't get me wrong, but you know, something, a little something, so maybe this will save your life or not. Here, Herald of Thunder, once again, another aura. We're using here Clarity and Inner Weight, so when you kill a shocked enemy, you will shock pretty often, you will getting 35% damage as lightning, extra damage, so that's very strong for clear. And we're using Blasphemy, guys, once again with Enfeeble and Magnifying Effect. Enfeeble will lower down the enemy damage by on the Unix 8% and 14% on the white monsters, because the Blasphemy is making the curse have less effectiveness, as you can see here, 44% less magnitude. So that you know, a big payoff, but it's worth, guys, trust me, it's very worth. It's so much better than the raw. Okay, you will this setup will save your life multiple times, I can tell you that. And you know, magnifying effects, so basically almost the whole screen is getting covered with damage reduction zone, so you will not getting one tapped or surprised by something outside. We're using here Wind Dancer, you know, this is grants you more evasion and also arm's length, so the knockback distance will be better, so if they you know, overwhelming you, they can push back even further, so you can have a little brief space to use. And we're using Ghost Dance once again. When you get a hit, you will get back 5% of your evasion rating as energy shield. Pretty good if you getting overwhelmed and you can't attack at the moment, but as soon you can attack, you will reach back immediately, so this is good. And fast forward to lower down the charge time. So guys, I think that was the last update for this build. Maybe when I get in more currency I will revisit this one, but right now I think this build is done. It's absolutely broken, guys, especially with the Tonky version. I think if you want to face tank the game, you will not want any other build than this, because this has clear signal target, tonkiness, recovery, every single box is ticked that is needed to be a build Tonky. And honestly, it's kind of mind-blowing. Some people is just trying this face tank content and so on, and they literally dying to white skeletons or something like that. And honestly, that's just, for me, is just laughable, because this is shows they just trying to clickbait you. This is if you're reaching this point, you will can do the same. So this all of the footages was on the very highest end content that the game has to offer currently. So that was the update video about this character, so I hope you will enjoy that. And if you have a few concern about like the cost and so on, there are multiple versions in the Mobilitics guide, like, you know, the low budget, mid budget, end game budget, super end game budget, and even further the Tonky version. You will find your version that you can and want to play, I can granulate that. And this is also a pretty good project if you want to play more the game, right? So reaching this point will take you sometimes if you don't have that much time, but you will be rewarded a very satisfying gameplay and tonkiness as well. That's the most important for me especially. So yeah, this is why I'm saying this is a very, very suggested version of this build. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you have any question, please leave a comment below, or you can find me on twitch.tv/Pidgeot2. Thanks for watching. I was Pidgeot. See you next time.